This is a call for vengeance. Welcome to today's show. It's important people know about this. And I've been warning people about it for quite some time, about Elon Musk and Neuralink and the brain chip, because there's a lot of layers that go into this. But what you need to understand first is that this is the normalization of this technology. This is not new technology. They didn't just come up with this, and they aren't really running the first human trial experiment. There are humans among us who already have this in them. They are so far advanced with technology that it would blow people's minds. What they have to do is condition people into seeing this technology, wanting this technology, and being desensitized from fear of this technology. So this is the beginning of that wave where Elon Musk, who has deliberately been put in a position as a patriot for freedom, he is there to obviously herd with conservatives, as these other figures like Bill Gates with technology are there to herd with the Democrats. This is all strategically done because ultimately they want this technology inside of everybody. Now, there are some who will argue that this type of technology, at least from a nanoparticle standpoint, is already in a lot of people who are just used as human lab rats. But let's focus on this story and the normalizing of the brain chip. Here it is from ABC themselves talking about the brain chip being rolled out on its first human being as of today.
This morning, Elon Musk announcing that for the first time, his company Neuralink has implanted a brain chip in a human. Musk saying the person is recovering well. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection. Neuralink's goal is to help paralysis patients communicate by connecting their brain to a computer.
The device is designed to interpret your neural activity so you can operate a computer or a smartphone by simply thinking.
People paralyzed from stroke, from traumatic brain injury, or a spinal cord injury could see the benefits.
This would be a major game changer if it were to be proven to be safe and effective.
The FDA approved Neuralink for human tests last May after years of testing on animals.
Here's one electrode on one thread that when we stimulate causes a flexion movement of the leg.
The company demonstrated the ability of its implants to stimulate movement.
As you can see, Pager is amazingly good at mind pong.
Allowing a monkey to play a video game.
And what better reward for a monkey than a banana?
Musk says the first human users will be people who've lost the use of their limbs. But speaking about the long term, he said, imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or auctioneer. That is the goal.
I really do think that in my lifetime as a physician, I'll be able to use this type of technology to help my patients, and I cannot wait for that day to come.
Neuralink's engineers aren't the only ones turning science fiction into reality. Researchers elsewhere helped this man, paralyzed in an accident, walk again thanks to implants in his brain and spine. And in August, this woman who had lost her voice to paralysis was able to have a conversation with her husband again thanks to a mind-controlled avatar.
Do not make me laugh.
Experts warn much more testing and research is needed before any kind of widespread use of these devices.
So again, this isn't the test experiment. This is the experiment on the audience. The experiment on the audience is normalizing this. Because again, I always use examples. You have to pull yourself out and think about time periods in your life where there was something brought to you and you were like, whoa, no way, never. And eventually over time, you don't even realize that you accepted that technology or you accepted that in your life, right? We can look at it with the LGBT as a society, how that stuff has been accepted. Or we can even think back when Facebook first came out. I remember when Facebook first came out, and I said, this is the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. It came out originally for college students. And a lot of kids in college were forced to go on there and they shared their home. And I said, this is embarrassing. And I knew a whole group of people who were like, this is embarrassing. I would never go on Facebook. How ridiculous. Who cares? Who's posting this or that? Look, 20 years later, those same people that I once knew who said they would never go on, they're all on there. Not only are they on there, they're doing the basic manufactured social engineering behavior, taking photos of their food, taking photos of themselves, posting things that are on their mind. This is social engineering. They desensitize you to the technology, they get you used to it, and then they, of course, engineer you into wanting it. And that's what's next. Okay, so this is the first phase of that demonstration. What comes of this isn't just getting technology inside of your body that they can control, but what also comes out of this is the marketing and the tactics they use to convince you that it's what's in your best nature. And I've talked about this for a long time. And it seems like I keep saying I've talked about it, because I have. And I've talked about how they need to use health, live forever, longevity, okay? Fighting disease, curing cancer. These are all triggers that are going to tie into the Neuralink and this type of technology getting embedded in your body. People out there look at this story and they see this stuff and they go, I'll never do that. Right? And then slowly as it becomes normalized, they get desensitized to it because we see celebrities who do it and try it, etc. It'll start off, of course, with people who are victims of, who have paraplegics, people who can't walk, people who have brain problems, Parkinson's, etc., how it cures all that. And it'll continue to spread into other things. Oh, someone with Alzheimer's, now they can remember things again. They cured Alzheimer's. Somebody with cancer. And eventually people will get so used to this, they'll eventually have no choice but to try it, because they'll say, well, I can live 20 years longer. I don't want to die. I want to live longer. Even though I'm miserable here on earth, because pretty much everybody you talk to is miserable here on earth, and everyone who isn't is just telling themselves they're not, but they'll want to live forever and live ultimately not as humans anymore. Again, the book of Revelation talks about this. There'll be those who seek death and will not be able to find death. They market this technology in those manners, right? Which again is how they've desensitized people to get this type of tech inside your body, is things like the iFit, all this technology, the iWatch on your skin that counts your movements, that counts your breaths, that you think is there to tell you, oh my goodness, my heart rate, oh my blood pressure's down, oh this or that it's there to benefit you. It's there to condition you into the mark of the beast. And again, people out there have their own ideas of what the mark of the beast is. They're allowed to have their own ideas. They're allowed to be different than me. But I would bet my bottom dollar that the mark of the beast, of course, is transhumanism. It is tied in with your genetic code, being able to buy or sell with having them have this type of tech inside of you. Now, maybe it won't necessarily be this chip. This might be the rollout of a chip that's there to desensitize people to this type of technology, but it will be inside your body. So when you see in that clip them talking about how your brain will interact with the computer, everybody is looking at that and they're going, wow, this guy has a brain problem, but he can think. He might not be able to communicate it with his body, but he could tell a computer what to do for him. And everyone's going to say that's great. That's an advancement in technology and all this stuff, and it's not. But what really they need to be listening to is how a human being's brain can interact with a computer, because it's going to be coming in the opposite direction. It's going to be the computer that's telling your brain how it needs to function, what to do, where to go, how to live. You're going to be programmable. You ever hear the old expression, programmable matter? Okay, the matter they want to program is you. And that's what the ultimate goal is here. This is a massive operation on humanity, and nobody sees it. What they see when they see Elon Musk, and they think they see, is somebody who's very, very smart, right? Oh, he's very smart. And now this smart guy suddenly is standing up and being a beacon for free speech on his platform, Twitter, or now known as Antichrist X, right? So everybody gets lured in and they just ignore all the obvious things in front of us. And I warned everybody when Elon Musk got put on that platform and got put as somebody who's anti-Democrat, that he was there to hurt conservatives, that every single person should be alarmed of this because of the Neuralink, because of this technology. They don't care political affiliation. They're going to get this inside of people's bodies one way or the other. And they're using their divide mechanism to have these influencers like Musk or Gates for the liberals as, innovators of new technology, how to advance humanity and all this stuff. And it's not. It's to completely control you. That's what this technology is going to do. This is a warning for humanity. Okay? Everybody out there needs to be aware of how dangerous this is getting with technology. And there is no turning back at this point, because we've seen what they've done over the last 20 years is make people so dependent on technology. And I was just talking about this on the website. So dependent on technology, they can't live without it. I mentioned on the website in the video I did for the Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind. When everything goes off and everything's going crazy and nobody has technology or power, even the grid's completely off, their phones are off, that nobody knows what to do because they don't have their phones to go and Google search what to do or to look up how to do this or that. And suddenly their minds just combust, because that's what they've deliberately done to humans, making them so dependent on technology. And this is where it ends. This is where it ends, when the technology goes inside of you. You don't have to worry anymore, folks. You won't have to worry anymore about your battery dying on your phone, because just like we were told in The Matrix, the movie The Matrix, nobody ever connected the dots with why why the main character, why Morpheus holds up the battery to turn a human into that, right? Humans combust, they're conductors of energy, right? Turn you into a battery. The phone and all these things, you could never live without them. You don't have to worry anymore about losing your phone. You don't have to worry anymore about a grid shutting off. The technology is going to be in you, and you yourself will be programmable to these people. This is where we're headed. So the articles are out there, the stories out there that Elon Musk and Neuralink is now out there, and they've put an implant into a human brain. And again, this story is fabricated. This is already in people's bodies. And again, like I said earlier, there's a lot of people who have certain types of nanoparticles and nanotech in them already. Okay. This specifically is to desensitize you and condition you. You're going to hear about this. You're going to hear about it over and over. You're going to hear about the benefits of it. You're going to hear about how it's safe. Okay. You might hear originally a story, well, there was a little bit of a malfunction, but so-and-so is going to fix it, and they're going to have another rollout of this type of tech. It is to normalize it, okay? So Elon Musk says his ambitious plan to let humans wirelessly connect their brains with phones and other devices has taken a new step, announcing that the first human has received a brain implant from his Neuralink company. The person who wasn't identified is recovering well, Musk said via X. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection. He added, referring to the cellular activity between our brains and our nervous systems. And again, listen to that quote. I mean, listen to what I'm reading to you. Okay, step back from it. Just step back and listen to what I just read. Elon Musk has an ambitious plan to let humans wirelessly connect their brains with phones. Is anybody alarmed by that? Because they're so trusting in the technology. And this is part of the conditioning too. They've gotten people to think that technology is perfection. Technology doesn't see skin color, doesn't see gender. It's just a computer. It sees perfection. Everything's data driven. These are all triggers they put out there, right? To make humans better, to make you smarter, to make you, not age anymore, right? To make you live longer, etc. They're using things. This is subtle mind control, but it's not so subtle if you're paying attention because it's consistent. We're seeing it every day, okay? So the news comes after Neuralink began recruiting potential human test subjects for its clinical trial. The company got Food and Drug, the FDA, approval for the trial last month. Now, let's just look at this, okay? So we're talking about the FDA, which is one of the most corrupt, three-letter organizations that there is. The FDA, I've covered in the past, even allowing companies to put weed killer in your baby cereal, okay? And nobody's shutting down the FDA, right? Just go, no, it's a common mistake, right? FDA, we all know the three-letter companies, or organizations, I should say. CIA, the other one, the HWH, I can't say them. Algorithm won't let me say them. So think about this. We're actually allowing a Food and Drug Administration company to approve technology like this. This does not benefit humans. But how do they convince you it benefits humans? Well, the next paragraph tells us, right? They say, this benefits humans, specifically ones who are quadriplegic due to spinal cord injuries, other people with ALS, diseases that rob people of the ability to control their bodies, right? These aren't test experiments on these people that have these conditions. This is an experiment on your mind to accept this technology and say, hey, that guy's got ALS. This helps him. All right. And eventually this is going to spread, just like the cell phone from the flip phone. You think when the flip phone came out that they didn't have the capability to have the phones the way we do now? People's heads would have blown up if they were having phones doing, reading back stuff to them 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Okay? The flip phone was just it just continues. And the phone we have now is just to condition you to have this tech inside your body. That's the point. That's why it keeps getting smaller and smaller. That's why the chips keep getting smaller and smaller publicly. Because they're telling you that, it's more convenient, it's smaller. Oh, wait. All of a sudden you'll hear stories about people texting and driving, people looking down on their phones and how it's more convenient inside your body. People don't realize they're gonna be conditioned in this, and then they're gonna go, it's not even a big deal. Now they hear me saying, they're like, that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. And it is gonna happen. Okay, even at the World Economic Forum, they were talking about 6G and how it's gonna be inside you. And it is gonna be inside you. So they're using, again, they want people to see these stories as sympathy stories, to sympathize with these people and say, wow, technology is really serving a purpose. And eventually that story is gonna tie into you. Right? When you get cancer or something like that, and you don't realize it's because of the stuff that they're doing to us in our food and from the skies and the radiation exposure, etc. And they're going to say, well, guess what? Your great grandma died of it. Your grandma died of it, but you don't have to die of it because this technology inside your body can cure that. And they'll go with it. They will. You'll see. Okay? It's headed in that direction. So Neuralink says its implant procedure employs custom-made microscopic needles, which I covered in the past. I can't recover anything with the needles or anything with the injections, which I've shown Elon Musk talk about getting Neuralink inside your body via an injection. Okay, maybe I'll do another video on the website. You thinking what you're supposed to be thinking when I say that? Okay, Elon Musk talked about how you don't need to cut your head open to put the Neuralink in your brain, that they could do it via an injection. Okay, now just think for a second about the word injection and how they can inject something in you and then realize what's going on right now. Okay, and then think about what I said as far as conditioning you to accept this technology is really what it's about, because it's already in people's bodies. Okay, so they go on to talk about the brain implant and all the scientific stuff to make people think that this is a really, a Neuralink user app that connects wirelessly to a computer or other device. And again, people at first are going to be taken aback. You're going to talk to people who are like, whoa, that's a little bit crazy. I'm not sure I'm interested in that. Okay. And then they're going to talk about stuff like telepathy and, how this entire thing, this entire notion of connecting human beings with technology isn't such a crazy idea. That it's normal, that it's just the next evolution of humans. It's the next evolution in technology. It's the next wave, right? And they'll buy in. The technology is here. It's ready. It's a matter of getting the people ready to accept it. And that's what people like me and you have to do, is to make sure they know what's going on here. Understand mind control. Understand human beings, human nature, how this stuff works with conditioning, repetition. It's very simple if you're paying attention. So everybody out there needs to pay attention. And like I said before, the notion at first is going to be that it's a human implant into your brain. And people are going to go, I don't want my head cut open like I'm in some type of a horror movie. I don't need a saw through my head. And they're going to go, no, that's crazy. That's old talk. You could get it through your body in different ways. I can. I'm a brain chip, a Neuralink. Yes. You can have a quick injection just like that, right in your arm, or even maybe right up your nose. Just breathe it in. And people will go, oh, okay. Well, at least I don't have to have my brain cut open. And they'll get more and more conditioned into accepting this into their bodies. It's happening as we speak. And Elon Musk even says, when he announced the implant surgery, he said, enables control of your phone or computer and through them almost any device just by thinking, right? And form of witchcraft. Telepathy. Okay? That's what's happening here. Do you see this? Do you listening to this? It's frightening. People out there are talking about this like it's a good thing. Just saying, imagine Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or auctioneer. That is the goal, right? The goal is to control you. I can't emphasize it enough. It's not about money. The alt-right will constantly talk about money. The magic potions are about money. All these people who are woke, these companies, about money. It's about control. It's ultimately only about control. They print money. It's about control, right? And why is it about control? Because what is God's creation? Human beings. God created humans. He created Adam and Eve in the garden. It's God's creation. That's what we are. And what does Satan want to do? He wants to invert that. He wants to take God's creation and change it. And the only way they could do that is by changing your genetic code, your genetic structure. And that's by getting technology like this inside of your body. That's how they're going to do it. They're going to change it all. We got to warn people about it. I'm on a rant here, but I knew this day was coming where, because I've covered in the past, I'm talking about, well, this year it'll happen. This year it'll happen. Well, it's here. It's here. And it's not about it being here, the technology, because it's been here. It's about the beginning of the conditioning mechanisms to accept this. And before, when this was out there and I was talking about this story, Elon Musk did not have a following. People are like, oh, Elon Musk, whatever. Elon Musk is now looked at as a patriot. Elon Musk is now looked at as somebody who's an advocate for freedom, wants to help people. They had to build that in first, if you look at it through clear eyes. Why did they wait then if this technology was already? Because they needed to make sure that Elon Musk with the Neuralink was already announced. Elon Musk had to make himself, and they had to pin him in a position where he could influence people to get this. And now look at him, right? Walking around with his Baphomet outfit on at his Halloween party. Yeah, he's going to condition them all, right? I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. Share this video if you can. God bless all of you as always and your families.